everybody, and we're going to go to the papers. We're joined by broadcaster and showbiz journalist Stephanie Tachi and writer and columnist Emma Wolf. Right, where to start? I believe this is my latest list.
This is your latest.
Emma, it's you. Middle class take a £40,000 income here. I read this headline earlier, Ellie and I were talking about it. That is a whopper.
Yeah, it's a whopper. Yeah, this is analysis from economists on the front of the Times, basically saying, you remember Jeremy Hunt's stealth taxes? Well, they're going to make working families, middle-income families, over the next decade, they're going to be about £40,000 worse off because of freezing the tax threshold. And obviously, in the middle of a cost of living crisis, this is really, really bad news for a lot of people. So this is like a couple, both of them earning around £60,000, which, is a lot to some people and isn't a lot to others. But yeah, it's going to drag the decision by Jeremy Hunt. He's gone quiet recently. What's happened to Jeremy Hunt? I feel like we've been hearing a lot about Rishi Sunak. He's taking Christmas holidays. Anyway, he's gone quite quiet. But those self-taxes are going to drag a lot of sort of middle-income earners into those tax brackets again.
I just feel like we soon, maybe in the next 10 years, we might not even have that middle-class structure there, because it just feels like with all these kind of implementations of such taxes, you're just diminishing the power of the middle-class person. It's like the money you're earning, it's just all going to taxes that you're not going to be left with anything.
It's really making me realise, seriously, like I'm terrible with money, and I now more so than ever just wish I'd have spent the last 4 or 5 years bothering to put anything to one side. I know this will be really obvious to a lot of people. People are like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do with your money. But, really now, it's starting to think of this idea of a £40,000 income here. I've been absolute mug, really. There you go, enough about me.
I kind of feel the opposite. I feel like this has just proved how out of control we are. I mean, we can save, we can be careful, we can work really hard, whatever. But actually, when you look at food prices, when you look at energy prices, it's out of our control. They're just absolutely soaring, and most of us are just kind of sitting there going, well, I have no choice, energy's doubled in cost. Food prices, every time you walk in the supermarket, they just go up and up and up. It doesn't feel like there's a lot we can do about it.
Yeah, and I think that's what really struck me about this story, is that it's now impacting on everyone. Cost of living, it's been a struggle for some people for a long, long time prior to this year, but now it is impacting people who've never struggled before and taking a real hit on finances. It's going to be a tough few months ahead. Stephanie, let's have a look at the Express, shall we? This is a backing of by Theresa May, saying he's going to win the next election.
Yeah, there's obviously over the past this year, there's been a lot of in-house fighting with the Tories, but now Theresa May's come out, despite opinion polls which are putting Labour way ahead. She's saying that she still thinks that Rishi Sunak is the man for the job and he has what it takes to win the next election. She says, obviously, due to Liz Truss's mini budget, that lost a lot of people's hope in the Conservatives, but she feels like Rishi Sunak is the man to do it. But to be honest, I think that anybody in Rishi Sunak's position would have been facing all the troubles he's had. He's inherited a poison chalice from Boris Johnson and Liz Truss, and he has to fix it. And I think even if we do have a Labour government, they're still going to have the same problems the Conservatives are facing, if not worse. And to be honest, now
they're going to have to come up with solutions for it as well, which is the thing. And at the minute, they can sit there and pick and choose what they get involved in. The unions issue has been a really important one for that, because they've been able to kind of sit back a bit, not say what they do in terms of the pay rise at all, and just let the Tories try to handle the mess. That would change if they're in power.
It would, and to be honest, I think it's now time for the Conservatives to come together and put on this united front if they do want to win the next election, because this year it's been awful for them, so hopefully there'll be more cohesion from the party next year.
Now, it's the time of year, I don't know why, we turn to baby names.
Well, yeah, this is
what we're looking ahead to.
I just wanted a more fun story. We've had so much doom and gloom.
But, well, we say that, but dark and moody baby names are the ones that are going to be trending next year.
Well, baby names are so funny. People call their babies the weirdest things, and you think, really? Like, that's going to be an adult who's called, like, I don't know, Apple Rainbow. I'm trying to choose names that's not going to offend anyone. Apple Rainbow Yellow Blue, how is that person going to operate in the world as a grown-up? So yeah, there's a trend. There's going to be a trend. A baby namer reckons there's going to be a trend in 2023 for dark, moody baby names. Names like Argo, Draco, Knight, Raven, Zelda, Luna, Aurora. These kind of, slightly more edgy, moody names are going to be...
Cool.
They are quite cool, but again, is that going to be a decent name for a grown-up holding a meeting when they're like 50 years old and they're called Aurora, Zelda, Draco,
But
Knight?
they're all going to be a part of that generation where they were
weird
born
names.
with the cool names. So all these traditional names like the Stephanies, the Patricks, the Ellies, they're just going to be like, oh, your name's a bit outdated, because we will be from that generation where our parents were still picking
We're going to be the
names.
Ians of today, aren't we?
Yeah.
The Ian.
I'll tell you the best name. My little baby is called Ludovic, and he's called Ludo, and that's a cool name because it's not Ludo. It's kind of rare, but it's not too weird, and you can be professional and Ludovic, or you can be like fun and Ludo.
Have you got top baby names in mind, or do you not think that far ahead?
I have a list.
All women do. They have baby names.
Really?
Yeah.
They do.
That's what women do, Patrick. We like a name.
I'm half Greek Cypriot, so I was thinking about I'd like to reflect some Greek heritage.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So just go for Zeus.
Oh,
Right.
that's a
I
strong
like the kind
one.
of God's
Because
law
it's a
name.
strong-
Yeah.
Because Zeus is getting that job. You start a job interview, you're nervous already. You think, I might not get this. Move aside, Tom. Zeus has got the gig.
Yeah.
Zeus Christie's.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. For women, you often have to think about a possible other surname as well. You can never quite be sure about surnames and stuff. At least you know it's going to be a Zeus Christie's.
That'd be good for a dog, you know.
Yeah.
Like a big German
Warrior
Shepherd.
dog.
You've mugged him right.
Well, maybe you can get the dog, you're being offered loads.
You're assuming you'll have a boy, but what if you have a girl?
Oh,
Yeah.
What would you call that?
Zeus.
Yeah, Aphrodite, something like that.
Something
I don't know.
cool like that.
I was going through my Greek mythology and just make sure that I don't get the references wrong then.
But I like the dark, moody names. I think you might be onto something there. And maybe with our names, Stephanie, they'll come back. Because all the
They will.
older-fashioned names, like I'm trying to think of one now.
Yeah, like Mavis and Mabel and,
Mabel.
and
All come in,
traditional
you know.
Elizabeth and John and things like that are still really popular.
It's a cycle with names.
It is.
It is.
It's a cycle.
What else we got?
Let's go from a cycle to a cyclone.
yeah.
Good but it is serious, isn't it? Because 55 people are now dead after a bomb cyclone has swept America. I mean, the footage, the coverage of this is just so shocking, isn't it?
This is literally once in a generation storm that has hit America, and I know there's a lot of climate change skeptics out there, but we are getting more and more of these freak disasters of nature that are occurring. It would be scary to think if it did happen in this country, because we just get a little bit of snow and we just shut down completely. But in America, you're still having people who want to drive through this snow, and unfortunately there have been drivers who've been found frozen to death in their cars. Temperatures have reached minus 45 degrees, which is, I can't even comprehend that, how it must be like to be working through that and experiencing that. So it is kind of scary to be ending the year this way, because we've had so many natural disasters which have been climate related this year. So
minus 45, would you even have the ability to keep yourself warm? Would you even have the clothing? You wouldn't be.
And it isn't just these temperatures. As you say, you go out and everything freezes on you. It freezes. I've been out in minus 10 and everything just your eyelashes freeze up and things. Minus 45 is almost unimaginable. But also, it isn't just the temperatures. It's the fact that these are storms, these are blizzards, these are tornado kind of conditions. Think about an old, vulnerable person. Think about someone who's blind in a home. And the distances in America are different. We're not all in little towns and villages. People can be in a cabin somewhere miles away and you get cut off. What do you do? People are dying. It just absolutely.
This death toll is going to rise massively.
It will. They're going to find people. They dig people out of taxis and things like this in cars just
and
snowed
it's
in.
like, no matter how many contingency plans you have, when Mother Nature comes to sheer force like that, you're always going to be caught off guard, and it's just a wreck. Dealing with it afterwards.
Sorry, I'm stealing your list.
No, it's all right. Absolutely, we've got a lot to whiz through and not a lot of time to do it. Emma, Kate's fashion inspiration in the Mail.
Yeah, well, this is quite jolly. Obviously, the Princess of Wales. Yeah, we do. The Princess of Wales is, the other day at the King's, at the Sandringham sort of Christmas Day walk, everyone was saying how amazing she looked and how beautiful and elegant she looked, and she always does. But anyway, Kate, Princess of Wales, previously Duchess of Cambridge, her fashion sort of credentials are going back now to the early 2000s. So TikTok, so she's inspiring a TikTok generation. Basically, loads of teens and TikTokers now are looking back at her fashion from the kind of early 2000s. Do you remember her roller disco fancy dress? I don't know if you can see it here. It's her roller disco look.
It's the green top, the
green top, and do you remember that those outfits?
Yes.
So she didn't realise then when she was wearing sort of slightly dodgy early 2000s fashion, but she's now inspiring. And they're recreating all of her fashion looks. So even at the age of 40, she's inspiring teenagers to take on to do a Kate.
Do you know what? I get a lot of Kate fashion on my TikToks. I don't know how the algorithm works, but it's obviously clocked onto the fact I like the royals.
Yeah.
And loads of Kate fashion comes up from like the early noughties, late 90s. And people love her.
And she gets it right. You know, it's hard to be stylish as a royal. You know, you end up just wearing those coat dresses. Everybody wears coat dresses. And she doesn't. She's able to kind of do edgy style. Obviously, she's got, you know, unlimited access to designer wardrobes and things. But she somehow is fashionable without just going down the very, very safe route.
And I like how she recycles outfits. Like, she's never scared to be seen in the same outfit twice, and she makes it look equally as good as the first time she worn it. And that's what I like about the TikTokers. Instead of creating new trends, they seem to be going back into the past, getting old style trends, old artists that they really like. So we're actually moving back rather than moving
And when you look at the photos of her in the 2000s, she looks amazing. And you kind of, you realise just what a style icon she was, even though...
And again, all of this is coming back, isn't it? I mean, the other thing on TikTok, which is...
A lot of miniskirts.
Princess Diana and her fashion and those big...
I'm just saying there are.
Is that what you get on your TikTok?
I feel a bit...
Lots of miniskirts.
Yeah.
But they do love Princess Diana.
And those legs as well.
So fashion icons, both of them. Stephanie, this is a really, really interesting story about the rise of stay-at-home dads in the Mail.
Yes, so the number of stay-at-home dads has risen by a third since the beginning of the COVID pandemic. And we realised that happened during the pandemic. No one knew what they were doing. No one knew their left from right. But it means the roles at home also changed. Because I think for men, I don't know what you think, Patrick, but I feel like a lot of men have been scared to say, actually, no, I just want to stay at home, raise children. I don't want to be out there in the corporate world. And I think COVID allowed men to do that, actually, to say, actually, I want to stay at home while my wife goes to work and be the breadwinner. And, you know, for many years, women have been complaining that they're juggling too much. You know, they're juggling at home, juggling in the offices. So now it's actually quite nice that men want to take that leader role at home.
Can I just say that when you actually drill in, I don't want to shoot your balloon or whatever, but when you drill into the story, it's 1 in 9 stay-at-home parents is now a father. So still, 8 of those 9, you know, pretty much 90% of women are still doing the stay-at-home role. It's only about 10% of men.
Can I flip it on its head slightly? You know, I am massively outnumbered today, and why not use this now to my advantage to help learn and grow as a person? But I would be concerned that at the same time as men now may be feeling more comfortable to say, actually, I want to stay home and raise the kids, do you think women feel more pressure to get out into the workplace? Is it almost seen as a thing of like, oh, I don't want to be a housewife for a second? It seems like not progressive. I don't know what it is.
I agree with that. I think almost now women also feel shy to say, actually, I don't want this high-empowered job. I don't want to be out there. I don't want to be this successful woman. Actually, you know what? You can be a successful woman, but just be a woman at home.
And also, it is an absolute privilege to spend time with your very young baby. Those first couple of years, I've spent 2 years working and being at home with my baby on my own, and it is an absolute privilege to spend those early months with your little one, because they need you, and they especially need their mums. I would say dads as well, of course, but they need their mums just from the kind of nurturing point of view, and it's a wonderful thing, and I think all women would recognise, but they just want the flexibility to be able to have that choice, I think.
And is there that pressure on women, do you think, to get back to work? Are we going to see less and less?
I mean, I think even the term stay-at-home mum makes it sound easy. It is not. Of all the jobs that I've done in my life, mothering and constant mothering and being a mother or being a parent is the hardest job in the world.
In itself.
I'm absolutely terrified.
Have you guys none of you have had kids yet?
No.
Wow.
To you, I'm like,
it's so hard. Well, I I waited till 40 and I had my little one on my own, and it is so hard. Respect. And I like Josh Howie the other night. Josh was telling me he's got 5 children, and I just don't even know how.
That's his own fault.
I know it is. It's his own fault, but I don't even know how you do that.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
5 of them.
Do you think there is shame though if a man says, "I just want to be at home with the kids and I don't want to,"
I think there is. I think people might take the mickey a little bit.
Yeah,
I think
it's not alpha, is it? It's not very alpha male.
Right to do it, but I honestly think, from a personal perspective, look, I'm very lucky. I love what I do, and I'm not just saying that. I genuinely do it. Absolutely, I don't really see this as work, to be honest with you, which I think shows. But I really would. I would love to spend a lot of time with the kid, but I think there'd be a lot of stigma attached.
Yeah, but there's a caveman thing, there's a provider thing, there's all this kind of alpha stuff, which is about going out, coming back, I'm home, honey, bringing home the bacon.
Yeah.
So I think the fact that a lot of people now work from home just helps with the whole kind of blurring of different roles.
Absolutely. Oh, good chat, guys.
Very nice way to end. Yeah, enjoyed that chat. Stephanie, Emma, brilliant to have you. Thank you so much.